One of the things I've learned about the public service is that innovation is always very difficult. Innovation anywhere introduces risk, and frequently there isn't a concomitant remunerative benefit for taking on risk. I think it's created an environment where public services tend to be exceedingly risk-averse. So what we were doing was trying to introduce too many things at the same time. We had old public servants who were fearing democracy, fearing the you of this new government, fearing the language that people were speaking, because I suppose we were quite reckless. We were kind of super left at the time. All of these things happening. And them only understanding a particular way of doing things, quite isolated from global trends. So you had that. You had overlaid onto that some people who could speak our language and bore the scars of detention, exile, or the underground, and were heap and happening. And so there were contradictions in departments. You had ministers, some of whom were quite ready to roll with new policy and so on. But most of us were finding our feet. And so I don't think it's possible to kind of go faster than the institutional change allows you to go. I think that there's a balance between trying to push the boundaries and knowing that these are boundaries that can be pushed. With all the benefit of hindsight, we knew certain things. We'd never done many of the things we thought we knew. Just like we didn't understand what the contingent liabilities of the apartheid regime were. We didn't know what the capabilities of public servants were. There needed to be a lot of testing. Parts of what we needed to do happened in an environment that was complex. You were saying to the Minister of Education, who was very new to his job, his DG was new to the job. They were trying to fashion an education system with a very activist portfolio committee. One looks at the legislation. I mean, 1995, the Schools Act introduced school governing bodies for all schools. I mean, all of this was very, very early, and then you asked them to take account of systems that would allow for the implementation of ordered spending in provinces. Building schools, paying teachers, getting ghosts out of the system, and perhaps the idea of something that was as forward-looking as the MTF was ahead of its time. You know, being able to convene horizontally while asking colleagues to take very deep vertical actions was perhaps asking for a bit too much then.